Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the 16 millimeter crew. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Dale.
Okay, so this week we have watched Marty Supreme, directed by Josh Safdie. Marty Mauser, a wily hustler with a dream no one respects, goes to hell and back in pursuit of greatness. This movie stars Timothee Chalamet in the title role with Gwyneth Paltrow, Odessa Azion, Tyler the Creator, and Fran Drescher. So, Dale, what did you think about this one?
This is not which is weird. Usually 9 times out of 10, usually in watching a trailer, I can kind of tell how interesting the movie is going to be for me. And usually I'm kind of spot on, but this was the total opposite of what I was kind of expecting. For me, the movie was kind of a slog to watch. It was really like as I'm watching it, I'm like, do I really want to like I paid for it, so I'm like, I gotta like ride it out to the end. Which with work from the Safdie brothers, it's kind of odd to say that, but I was really struggling to like keep my attention and keep me drawn into the movie, which I know is counter to what everybody is saying in regards to the movie, but that's literally how I felt watching this.
Yes. It kind of feels like you're being like gaslit a little bit um by the mainstream film media, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I didn't really want to see this, not because I don't love and respect the Softies work, but just because I just wasn't into it. Like, yeah, I wasn't into it. But I asked my friends and then I was like, if you go see it, tell me how you feel about it. And my friend went to go see it and she was like, it's worth the hype. You gotta go see it. Blah blah blah. So I was like, okay, well, I guess it might be worth the hype. Like I have no reason to believe that it will be bad. Um, and I was watching it and I was just like, hmm, it's kind of like Uncut Gems, just in the 50s. But not as like I don't feel
Engaging.
I don't feel anything. I think that's
Yeah.
what I walked away with. I said I feel absolutely nothing. Well, that's not true. I felt discontent.
Mm,
I felt actual like contempt for Marty Mauser. Like I actually hate him, but like in terms of any good feelings or even like feelings of confusion or whatever, I didn't feel any of that. I was just like, wow, he sucks and this movie is 2 hours plus long. I just remember thinking that like, damn, this is a long movie.
yeah.
And when I left the theater, this guy walked out and he was like, I didn't like that one. It was just too chaotic for me. And I was like, yeah, I know, like
Yeah.
this is kind of how they work, but I don't know. We'll get into it, but I just felt like, oh, this is not your
Yeah.
best. This isn't your best.
And
Sorry.
you mentioned like having Marty, like you just felt contempt for him as a character. I mean, here's the thing with movies, usually with your lead, you can either feel like idolization or you want to follow this person to the depths, or in this case, Marty's kind of really not a hero. He's kind of like a villain in a way. Almost he's a villain of his own making. But even then, in most movies, there's something about a villain or an antagonist almost, or somebody whose character is sort of like Marty's that still draws you in. Like, okay, you initially watch Marty, you see all his chaos, you go, at least he's determined for this. And I'm like, no, he's actually a mess. Like he's even a mess in the aspirational goals he has. There's no like driving Oedipus for him to succeed and do better. He's just like, I'm the best. Like Ricky Buggy, I'm the best, and I piss excellence all day without really backing it up in a way. You don't root for Marty to like succeed. Like in the midst of all his failures, there's nothing about him that makes you root for him to succeed, or even like associate like, oh, he's having a bad experience because of this. They're like you, it's a chaos of his own making, and I guess that's also why at the end he has like the coming of age moment, like, oh, I have a kid now, I gotta be a man, kind of thing, which is actually real life. I've seen a lot of grown men, the light bulbs suddenly don't click until they have kids, like, oh, I gotta get my shit together. But for somebody who's aspirational about being this world-class table tennis player who wants to be on the cover of magazines, when he goes to tournaments, he acts like a jackass. in a way. Like the first tournament he's in, he's like he tells his other friend who's already losing the set, like, "Oh, let's just play around and do trick shots the whole time." Not taking it seriously, But then at the same time, he's mad when Rockwell says, "Hey, I'm going to pay you to do Harlem Globetrotters halftime shows and make money that way." And he finds it offensive to the art of table tennis. But in a major tournament, you decided to do that shit. What's the difference? You know what I'm saying? Things like that. You know.
Yeah, he's terrible, but also like the way other characters treat him does not make sense in
Mm-hmm.
terms of like I can't even okay, I'm gonna try to organize this because Anthony Fantano did like a really good review of this movie. And I
Anthony
didn't even know
Fantano.
yeah, and he
Wow.
doesn't do movie
Yeah.
reviews. That's the thing. Like or maybe he does, but this is the first one I've seen.
Mm,
So like I was shocked, but he was so good in terms of like articulating like what the issues with this movie are. But I just watched No Other Choice, right? And then
mm.
I'm not gonna get into it because we're gonna talk about it later. But I feel like if you're gonna depict an anti-hero, which is what I think they're trying to do
Marty.
in this
Yeah.
movie, you have to have one thing that's gonna hook the audience to make them sympathize. They don't have to
Yeah.
like them because there's tons of unlikable characters that we've seen on screen
Yeah.
plenty of times before. For me to not to just be like, I hate you, get off my screen, like that is a different kind of thing. I think it's like a good performance, but in terms of like the character, am I relating to the character at all? No,
Mm,
I'm not because there's not that one thing. It's not like he is a good friend. It's not like he is a good partner. He's not a good son. He is not, he's good at playing ping pong, but okay, like he's only doing it because he wants to be famous, not because he actually cares about the sport at all.
yeah.
Like he's not good. He's not a good anything. Like he's just a terrible person
Yeah.
who has a talent for playing table tennis. Like that is really his thing.
Yeah.
So in the other movie that I watched, it's like he does bad things, but he loves his family.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you can kind of there's something that can kind of keep you going with it. With this character, there was nothing. And I feel like that doesn't make sense because anti-heroes is what the Safdies do. Like that's
Mm,
their thing. There's never been a character that they have depicted on screen that has been like purely good or wholesome, big-hearted. Like that's never been they depict the guys on like, the sidelines of society who just do messed up stuff. And for
mm,
some reason, I've always connected with them. Adam Sandler in Uncut Gems is great. I related to that character so much, even though like he is like a gambler, he has an addiction, he is cheating on his wife, like he is doing a lot of bad things. But I still was rooting for him. I wanted him to win the money. Like
mm.
I did. Like I wanted him to do this final score so maybe he'll like
Get
I
his
don't
shit
know,
together.
get his stuff together so he can get help. No, this character right here, awful, awful in every. There's not one redeeming quality of this dude,
Yeah.
and him having a son at the end and crying doesn't make up for any of the stuff that he did. Mainly because like I know that he's not gonna parent that kid. Like
Yeah.
you don't. You're seriously telling me that like in what a couple weeks time that he won't dip and try to
Yeah.
get a new grind.
And this is especially knowing he got in like a shootout with gangsters. Other gangsters are going to be after him now for their connections killing him. His apparently uncle wants him to go to jail for robbing him and stuff like that. You have a trail of people are on you. So there's even if you say, "Oh, I'm going to be a father now," how are you going to provide for this kid? Because your only real job was your uncle's shoe store, which he was going to make you manager of. You kind of screwed up in the tennis association by doing your shenanigans. And Rockwell's not going to sponsor you because he knows you're fucking his wife, and he just wanted to embarrass you the whole time. So Rockwell's not going to help you get like appearances everywhere and pay you off of that. So how are you going to become this upstanding citizen when you burnt every single bridge that you could possibly do so to provide for your family?
Yeah, it's he won't do anything. Like he can't. 9 times out of 10, he would either end up in prison or be dead, which
Dead.
I feel like
Yeah.
is actually how this movie should have ended. I feel like, in Uncut Gems, he dies. Like, that is the reasonable conclusion of how those events play out. You die when
Yeah.
you get involved with people like that, or you end up in prison. The fact that this man is just fine, like, we're, I guess, to assume that he'll just be okay. Like, he'll be like, maybe he'll take the job at the shoe store and provide for this kid. Like, come on. Like, nothing in this movie has shown us that that is the reasonable conclusion of his story.
Yeah.
So I just feel like that didn't make any sense. Wouldn't be reasonable under the circumstances that we've been seeing so far. Doesn't is not consistent with his character either. And also, I feel like the way that everyone treats him, they're like upset at him, but they kind of treat him like a little rascal, like,
Oh,
ah,
you're a little scamp boys. We've
ah,
always,
darn,
yeah,
just you
yeah,
being crazy, little mischievous.
yeah,
And not like the absolute insane person that he actually is,
yeah.
a narcissist, like, I don't know, psychotic, in my opinion. Like, just like, why aren't we treating him appropriately? Why are these women still giving him money? Why are they like trying to figure things out to make sure that he gets to Japan? Like, why are we doing any of these things for this man? Why is Tyler the creator not like being like, don't talk to me ever again? Like, he sees him again at the ping pong little hangout and it's like, hey, let's play a game after you literally jeopardized my job
Yeah.
and I have children and a wife to provide for. Like, can can someone make sense of that to
it,
me?
it is weird that the only person who sees through his bullshit is Rockwell from the jump.
Mhm.
Like he literally tells him, "Oh, I know what you're doing." Like in their first meeting, he goes, "I know what you're doing," and instantly starts humiliating from that point. You know, he steals what's it, Gwyneth Paltrow's character goes to see her play, steals her prop jewelry, and tries to get it to pay a praise for money. She goes, "Oh, it's okay," kind of like what? You know, he kind of essentially, fucks up Tyler the Creator's taxi, and Tyler's like, "Oh, I'll see you tomorrow, Marty." Gets his childhood friend from they were 8 pregnant, spends majority of the movie saying that baby ain't mine. That baby's from the mountains of Caucasus. He's that baby is not mine. And then it's like, oh, you're pregnant now. Oh, I love you, kind of thing. Like and it's not even that. It's also even how he interacts with his mother from the moment you realize that her having to lie and say she just has to go to the hospital, all this stuff means he also does not, is not there for the one of the few people he should be there for. Like no matter what's going on, like and it is clear that based on him bringing back the piece of the pyramid from the pyramids to his mom, clearly does not show that him and his mother have a adversarial relationship. Clearly, it clearly means they're kind of close, but he's just so single track minded. I'm playing table tennis. Don't call me, kind of thing. Like really, come on, like that's yeah, it's there's nothing
He's
redeemable about him. Like, and what you said about antiheroes is true because I'm thinking about like Punisher and stuff like that.
mm,
Like when people talk about Punisher, like if you're a Marvel person, he's like a violent antihero. Like he really shoots criminals. Like everybody's seeing it. But then everybody's like, why? He goes, oh well, the mob and criminals killed his family and the law and did nothing about it.
mhm.
Everybody can kind of go, you know what? I could see that. If my family was killed by criminals or whatever and the law enforcement did nothing about it, I could maybe see myself taking into my own hands. So Punisher, still relatable. Even the most violent of anti-heroes or villains, still something relatable. You can go it's like Kylo Ren from Star Wars. Yeah, my parents kind of said, my uncle tried to kill me. My parents didn't really care about me. Can kind of understand that why you piss off everybody and go to a mentor figure who twists you. I see all that. Marty, none of that. None of that.
There is nothing. There is nothing there. Like, literally, there's literally nothing there. He's not even they make him look a little gross too, like, he kinda doesn't shower. I don't know. It's not giving anything that I'm like, "Oh, I'm excited to see this person on screen." Like, no.
Mhm.
Um, I think the people who get, like, worse done by in this whole movie are the women, though. I feel like Odessa, who plays Rachel, I think her name is,
Mhm.
in the movie, he treats her like absolute garbage. Like absolute garbage. Like, and to me, it's so sad because it's like, well, you already know that she's in an abusive relationship. Like, maybe don't start something up with her. I don't know. Maybe that's a choice. And if
Yeah.
you're gonna do it and she gets pregnant, don't be like, oh, sorry, not mine. Like, I'm not ready to settle down. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a father. Like, she literally gets shot. She gets shot in the chest
Yeah.
trying to help this man get money so he can go to Japan to play table tennis, by the way. And he just leaves her there. He leaves her in the hospital. He's like, "All right, well, bye. I'm going to Japan."
Yeah.
Like, are you ki and what I hate is that the women are still trying to help him. That's
Yeah.
actually what I hate the most. Like, if he is just being a dickhead, not want to take responsibility for his kid, okay, like, we know that that exists. It's these women who are so feeding into his ambitions, feeding into his narcissism, and just being like, "You know what? It's okay that I got shot. I'm having your baby, and I'm so happy about that. I love
Yeah.
you."
It's
Huh?
it's like, and that's the thing. Like, even the women are like the worst. They like enable him, for the most part. Yeah, it's
And my thing is like, not to keep harking on Uncut Gems, but I feel like I have to I keep connecting it to this movie because, like, the women in that movie, I will say Julia Fox's character is more shifty. Like, she is, like, she knows that she's in a relationship with a man who's married. Like, she does not care. She's doing a whole bunch of stuff. She's mean to him, but he's mean to her. So, like, it kind of somehow evens out. Like, it's equally toxic and whatever. But, like, I again had I felt one more connected to the relationship, but also like I felt like I'm okay that she kind of gets away with the money and like I'm kind of okay with it. I don't know why, but I'm kind of okay with it. And his wife, I'm like, she's great. She's like, I don't want nothing to do with you. And it's
yeah,
like, yes, exactly. So like in my head, I'm like, how to write female characters, even if they're a little gray.
yeah,
So why couldn't we have done the same thing here? And here's my theory. My theory is that actually you need Benny Safdie. Like Benny Safdie, the missing ingredient to this is why this movie isn't probably as good as it could have been
hmm,
because it's like the Coen brothers situation where it's like on their own they're not good, but together they're like excellent. Like
yeah,
so it's like we needed him because I feel like he kind of could have added some balance to the characters, maybe would
hmm,
have made this story make more sense. Like, I don't know. Because when I think about his movie, The Smashing Machine, although it wasn't shoved in everyone's faces like this
yes,
one is,
yes,
it's a better movie and it's a better story.
yeah.
So,
I feel like Benny is probably the better storyteller
yeah.
of the two, and then
Hmm.
Josh is the more cinematic flair as far as the stuff that people look for in movies, kind of thing. This kind of stuff. So yeah, the two of them together make a good team, but Benny is still good by himself, almost like the Coen brothers, where I think
Ethan is
Ethan is,
Ethan is a better one and
yeah,
Joel is like, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, keep if you have a brother and you're talented, or a sibling, still work with them because clearly,
Like
yeah.
I get it. Like you want to try on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you want to do your own thing. Like that's fine.
But if it works, don't.
I can see the gaps. Now that I've seen the movie, I can see the gaps. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, yeah, you definitely need.
yeah,
Because I think Benny, he's older, he's married, he maybe has like a more mature like lens on how to like kind of tie these situations together. I feel like the relationship in his movie was so well articulated and so well displayed. Even though it was the same kind of toxicity, it was the same amount of drama. It was just presented in a better and more clear way. Where I
yeah.
feel like the whatever is going on over here, it just
It didn't click.
because I think Josh knows how to do the chaotic, like big, like set pieces of like, insane things happening at every single moment. He knows how to keep that pace going. And I think that that is
Good.
entertaining
Yeah, but Benny's better at the emotional stuff.
and the storytelling. Like
Yeah.
when you look at the scripts, like if you wanted to look at the scripts like side by side, like this, I'm sorry, this script is just weaker. Like this, what's this movie called again? Marty Supreme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a weaker script.
Yeah.
So it's just like I mean, I think the issue that I have with this movie more than anything is the fact that it has been pushed so hard
Mhm.
and that the critics and everyone else are just saying this is the best movie of the year, blah 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 blah. Like Timothée Chalamet had a transformative performance. Like,
Timothy Chalamet. Okay, so this is someone coming from a Timothy Chalamet fan. I like Timothy Chalamet movies. Like that's been my boy since The King.
mhm,
Okay, this I think this movie leans more into the perception of how he wants to be in real life. That kind of
mm,
chaotic, almost blurring the lines of kind of what Johnny Depp is. Like you're not really sure if he's actually like Jack Sparrow in a way in real life, really aloof and like off kilter. Like it's the facade of this is who I am. Like he wants to be like Marty Supreme in a way, especially if you watch his interviews. He tries to give off that overconfident air and that kind of almost blackface like swagger, super cool white boy in a way. In this movie, he was kind of be super cool, cocky white boy in a way. I feel
mhm.
like this is how he perceives himself to be played out in the film.
That's an interesting theory. Yeah, I see where you're going with that
Yeah.
one. I my feelings about him are so complicated that it's like hard for me to talk about it just because I don't want to like put my own personal feelings about him into what his performance was. I think he still gives a great performance, but I also feel as though like if you've watched a lot of his movies, this performance is recognizable to you. Like
Yes.
you've seen this performance before.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
if you've seen one of his movies, like you've seen this before, maybe not to this level, but you've seen it before. You've seen it in Lady Bird, you've seen it in The King, you've seen it in other places. It's just taken up a notch.
Yeah.
And I think that people saying that this is a transformative performance makes no sense to me because I'm like, well, I've seen all his movies and no, it's not.
Yeah.
Like I never at one point watched any part of this movie and said, oh, I totally forgot that Timothée Chalamet was in this movie. Like he completely disappeared in this role. Never, not 1 second did I forget that that was Timothée Chalamet on the screen. And I think that that's also by design. I feel like the way that they have marketed this movie, they're trying to make the character in him sort of synonymous, where it's
Yeah.
like you said, like you can't tell the difference between these two people on face value. If you watch the movie, then you can tell, okay, well, this guy is terrible, and I'm pretty sure Timothée Chalamet isn't. But like, he was trying to kind of. It seemed like they were trying to blur the lines in terms of like character, person,
Yeah.
in order to sell it. And I feel like the way that he has gone about selling this movie is like has nothing to do with the actual film. Like the fact that people have been talking about him like rapping and like showing up in like the sweatsuits and whatever. Like, I'm sorry, what does that have to do with a ping pong player in the 1950s? Like, I don't see how these two things connect at all
Yeah.
because they don't. What they're trying to do is trying to put it put the system in a place where it's like you are gonna go see this movie because of the name attached. Like they
Yes.
wanna it seems like they're trying to shift things around where it's not IP driven, it's we're going back to the, name
Names.
driven type of marketing. And and listen, it worked. There are so many people who have gone to see this movie who would not have if Timothée Chalamet wasn't like running around the world just acting like an insane person. So like it worked. It definitely worked. The marketing campaign, honestly, it was great because they were able to accomplish every single thing that they wanted to. People came to see this movie. This movie made over like $90 million on a budget that I think was at like 70. It was A24's most expensive film, and they made that money back. So like, I'm not saying that it didn't work. What I'm saying is that like, was it consistent with the quality of the film? No. And also, like, what did it have anything to do with the film? No. But it succeeded in really elevating Timothée Chalamet to the level that Leonardo DiCaprio and all these other people are at just at a younger age. Like,
Mm.
that's just what happened. Because I guarantee you, when it comes time for Oscars, he might just win it. And I
Yeah.
feel like it's not deserved. I don't think he deserves to win it. I just believe that they have done such a good job at like shoving this movie down your throat to the
Mm-hmm.
point where you're going to believe that he deserves it, even though it's not true.
Yeah. And like you said, this goes back to comparing someone, Benny and Josh Shafty as directors. The fact that people are saying this is a transformative role for him is shocking because, like you said, it feels like it's Timothy Chalamet playing Timothy Chalamet,
Yeah.
which is in counter of what The Rock did with Smashing Machine. The Rock was always known for playing the same character the same way every movie, and with Smashing Machine, The Rock really plays against type for himself. The Rock's performance in Smashing Machine is more transformative than Timothy Chalamet playing Timothy Chalamet in this movie. Once again, comparing the two brothers, but still, we both essentially agree. Like Smashing Machine is out of between the two brothers, and the most awardee winning type of movie. Smash Machine was a better movie across the board. Yeah.
It was, and it actually makes me kinda sad that, like, that movie did not get its shine. Like, that really makes me sad, and I feel like it's because Josh is the person who has a connection to all the rappers and all the cool kids, got all the Kardashians and whatever on call, like, he has the connects to kinda get this movie really in front of people's faces in a way that I don't think Benny does. I could be wrong, but that's
Or
just my
Benny
theory.
chooses not to use.
Oh, yeah, or he chooses not to use it.
Yeah.
But I'm also thinking about the fact when he was, like, outside the AMC, like, trying to get people to go and come in and see his movie when the Taylor Swift movie was also playing at the same time. Like, it's interesting to see that and then contrast that with the marketing that was Marty Supreme. And it just makes me sad because I'm just like, well, Smashing Machine was just a better film. So it's sad that it's not getting its light, even though it is more cohesive. The performances in that movie are so great. I think Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson actually had some, if you want to call it transformative, really like
Yeah.
played against whatever type that they were known for. Like it was so good. And I just feel sad because I'm just like, why is no one talking about that movie? What people are talking about though is because I know this is like a war season, so like what the conversation is like, oh, Michael B. Jordan deserves more of these awards than Timothy Chalamet, and it's like a race thing, and it's like and all of that.
Mm.
And like, yeah, you're probably right. Like, I'm not gonna disagree with you. Like, I think Michael B. Jordan does deserve a lot more than he's getting. But I also feel like in terms of like us talking about Marty Supreme as like the biggest movie of last year or like a huge like piece of like what was like great cinema of last year and like what it's going to do at these awards. I just feel like people aren't having the discussion that it's really not about Marty Supreme in terms of like the
It's the
film.
name.
It's about it's really like one battle after another. Like
Yeah.
if you're talking about someone who's going to snatch trophies, it's not
Yeah.
unfortunately, it won't. I mean, it's not Sinners, I don't think, even though I
Yeah.
do think that Sinners deserves way more than it's getting. But I
Yeah.
also feel like Marty Supreme is not the discussion that we need to be having about like movies that were that we've said were so good, and then you look at it and you're like, this is extremely problematic. Like it's one battle after another, and one battle after another is going to snatch that Best Picture trophy. I
Yeah.
guarantee you.
Yeah.
So like we can have the discussion about acting. I feel like Timothée Chalamet didn't do anything different in this movie that he's done in other films. I actually think
Mm.
that he's done better performances in other films, not in this one.
Yeah.
So, and I think Michael B. Jordan, obviously, he played two roles in like a very transformative movie, a movie that we've never seen before. Like, he definitely deserves a lot more shine than he's getting. But that's just the academy being what the academy like. I feel like people who aren't as in tune of like how these things work are like upset
Shocked. Yeah.
and shocked. I'm like, y'all, if you want the
Just be
truth,
real.
like, let's be real. Like,
Yeah.
they're not gonna give Michael B. Jordan anything. Like, they're not gonna
Look,
give
from the moment
Ryan anything.
Variety complained about, oh, this movie is only doing X, Y, and Z, and then complained about, oh, Ryan Coogler has an exclusive rights deal for the movie after a while. The moment when the media shifted to start decrying the movie after its success, like the first weekend, I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, the fix is already in. Like they're not gonna
Yeah,
give the movie its credit it's due no matter
exactly.
what.
They're
Like
not.
you even saw it with the Golden Globes. It got what? It got box office and cinematic breakthrough, and that was it. Like
And that's my thing.
you guys did numbers. You guys were the best movie of the year. Good job. No awards for you. You know.
Yeah. And I think the propaganda that is Marty Supreme is actually my biggest gripe with it, even more than like it not being that great of a film.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the performances were so good, the music was
Yeah.
so good, the
Yeah.
cinematography was so good, like everything was competent.
Yeah.
But in terms of like, did it make me feel anything? No,
No.
absolutely not. But I feel like the propaganda of this movie, of it being so overhyped, where everyone's like, this movie is incredible. I've never seen anything like it before. Timothee Chalamet is so like the fact that that has been pushed so heavily, and the fact that like movies like Sinners, people, the mainstream critics and all of that were totally on board with absolutely just dragging it to filth because they didn't like that it was a black movie that wasn't about slavery or something. Like, it's just, I think it just goes to show me, and I think that's kind of what I hate the most about the Marty Supreme hype train, is that like you got this white boy over here who, yeah, is giving good performances, but like it's also taking from black aesthetics and just kind of throwing that out there just to
Mhm.
seem cooler, like, and to seem more interesting and entertaining. Like, you got nothing of your own, bro. Like, you're literally just taking stuff from our culture and repurposing it so it's more
Yeah.
palatable for white people.
Yeah.
And then you have a movie like Sinners that has, we literally, like I said, have never seen anything like that before. The way that it crossed genres, everything that it was doing in that movie. And we don't even give Michael B. Jordan or Ryan Coogler half of the credit
Yeah.
that Timothee Chalamet and Josh Safdie are getting for making a movie that wasn't even that good.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off about this.
Yeah. I feel like if anybody had directed or played this movie, they'd get like the responses we have right now of like what drives me to continue watching and supporting Timothy's character. If it was not the fact that, oh, Josh Safdie, he's a known director. If it wasn't the fact that Timothee Chalamet was cast in this, the questions we're having and the issues we have in this movie would be talked about ad nauseum if any other two people were involved in it.
Exactly. That's what's, and it wouldn't even gotten to this point. Like, it literally, like, we wouldn't even be discussing it if it was anybody else. And I think that that's also the other thing. It's like they banked wholesale on Timothy's celebrity, and they exploited that joint to the fullest, and it brought them right to the bank, and it brought them right to these Academy Awards. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad strategy. I'm just saying I don't like it.
Yeah. This movie, like I started off saying, we're probably going to be counterintuitive to what most critics think, but this movie was a slog. Shouts out to Luke Joseph Manley, his first role just from popping out, from Sidewalk TV, talking shit about Trae Young after they lost to the Knicks, and then suddenly gets cast in this just based on that appearance for a first major role, even though I think he went to school for what did he go to school for? He went to school for commercial, like comm arts and stuff like that. Still amazing shout out for his acting role, knocked out of the park. But other than that, this like I said, costuming, cinematography, everything amazing. But other than that, this movie is basically playing it safe by the numbers.
My wrap up is that Josh and Benny, please get back together and make another movie. Timothee Chalamet, you're giving Taylor Swift right now, so like I don't want to see you for like a year.
I mean, he already gave Taylor Swift that whole thing at the Golden Globes, talk about how, I get it, you're dating, you're in love, but he waxing poetic about how Kylie Jenner is the most important thing in his life.
Which is a joke to me. I'm sorry. I'm still not convinced that that's a real relationship. Like, not that they are not actually dating and actually in love. I'm sure that they are. But what? Like, you see these two folks together and you're like, okay, that makes sense. Like, no. Like, y'all are literally using each other for relevance. And it's working. So if you just want Kylie Jenner there to be a nice prop, there she is. She's a nice prop for you. I hope that you are happy. Get off of my screen. I don't want to see you again until Dune 3. Thanks. Marty Mauser sucks. And everyone should go see The Smashing Machine again. I think you should. I don't know where it's streaming, but go find it if it's streaming somewhere. And support Benny, because that's a great movie. The end. Okay, everyone. That is it from us this week. We hope that you're all doing well and taking care of yourselves. Make sure to check out all of our social media. Support us if you can. And we will see you guys very soon online. But also in the next episode. Goodbye.